that is going to be it for this video, but come back tomorrow and there will be a new episode of the Rantcast on the Samsung Galaxy S9. But until then, guys, that is going to be it, so thank you for watching. Okay, so yes, it's been a lot more than a day, but you know what, guys, it's okay. It's gonna happen sometimes, but here it is, finally here, this episode of the Rantcast, fully dedicated to the Samsung Galaxy S9. Now, before you do watch this video, if you would like to know my actual thoughts, my actual opinions on this phone, watch the video that's being released alongside this one, because this video has a lot of, like, you know, eye-sheep viewpoints, and if you want to see my actual opinions on this thing, watch the video that was uploaded alongside this one before you continue here. Anyway, guys, with that said, let's go ahead and get started with this episode of the Rantcast. What is up, guys? We are finally back with the Rantcast. I'm not entirely sure which episode this is, but the last one we did was back at New Year's, and that video unfortunately never went public because it failed so miserably.
Yeah, it was so bad. We don't even talk about it that much. It's awful. It's the worst one we've ever done.
If you guys were there for the live stream,
went wrong.
Oh yeah, dude. If you guys were there for the live stream, you already know what we're talking about. But anyway, guys, Samsung announced the Galaxy S9, and I'm a freaking eye sheep. Brandon kind of half is, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about that for this whole episode. Here it is, guys. This is the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. You know, it looks like a Samsung phone that it kind of looks like it had a kid with a iPhone 10, because you see those dual cameras right there that are vertical, just like this. Kind of, yeah. But if you guys saw this preview just now, you saw that it did something with the camera. If I refresh the page, it'll show you again. So check this out, guys. If you guys know anything about cameras at all, the iris or the aperture is this. Once you see it here, there you go. So in high-end lenses for stuff like DSLRs or old film cameras, you can manually adjust the exposure or the aperture. Now, the aperture pretty much changes how much light can hit the sensor, but it also changes your depth of field. Pretty much every phone out now has either f1.8 or f1.7 from what I've seen, but this one can do f2.4 or f1.5, which, you know, that's pretty sweet. Still a Samsung phone, but, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, yeah. That is pretty cool. I think it's the first phone to do that, and that's something that I'd love to actually see and try or something like that. I mean, that is a pretty cool feature.
It's the first, like, mainstream smartphone to do that, at least. Another thing that I feel like they kind of were inspired from the iPhone 10 is this, the AR emoji, which, if you guys have an iPhone 10 or know about it, it has a thing called Animoji, and I think it's pretty much the stupidest feature of the phone, because like I'm just trying to be for real here. You're not gonna spend $1,200 on a phone just to be like, oh, I could turn myself into a freaking poop, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. So then Samsung decided, hey, you know what? That's a stupid idea, but we're gonna try it too.
They did it a little bit differently though. Samsung's AR emoji, is in the camera application. And instead of doing just, like, emojis, you can kind of do, like, a fake version of yourself, but it looks a little, like, I don't know, man, that just doesn't look normal, in my opinion.
It looks really weird. I've seen videos on it, and it just, like, I think it was actually one of their promotional videos on it. They had, like, I can't remember what part of it was, but I saw, like, I don't know, it just looked kind of silly and dumb, and, I don't know, it's definitely not a feature I'd use. It's just like the Animoji in the iPhone 10. It's just, I've used
silly.
Yeah.
I've used Animoji a couple times, and I still think it's gimmicky. I don't care. It's gimmicky, but I don't even know. And I actually, hold on a second. I just saw this just now, guys. I hadn't seen this before. This kind of looks like iMessage a little bit. I'm not entirely sure what that is. It might actually be Messenger or something, but that looks a little bit like iMessage. The blue and the white. Like, I'm just saying, I don't know if it's their stock SMS app, but it looks a little bit like iMessage. I don't think they'd use Facebook on this. That's not even what Messenger looks like anyway. So, I don't know. I don't really have too many good things to say about this phone other than the camera, which also can do 4K 60 frames a second now, which the iPhone 8 did back in September. A cool feature that the camera does have as well is this instant translate, but didn't Google Translate have that for how long now? Like a long time, I thought.
We had it for a while, I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's pretty useful if you live like in. I don't think it'd be as useful here. I mean,
it wouldn't be. Like, it would be useful for like traveling, but
I'd say, yeah, especially like in Europe where you have a whole bunch of these smaller countries that have to speak completely different languages. It'd be pretty useful there. But here, it's kind of useful. Maybe you get some Spanish and French here and there, depending on where you're at. In Canada or Mexico, but still.
Oh, I could think of a good use. You know those like cheap knockoff products you buy on eBay, and the instructions are only in like Japanese or something like that.
Yes, that would be a smart idea.
That would actually be pretty useful. But in almost all of the demonstrations of that feature I've seen, it says translation by Google or something like that at the bottom of it. So I don't know if it's
kind of Google kind of has.
It might. Well, I mean, I know Google owns Android, they make Android, but Samsung puts their own stupid spin on it. It used to be called TouchWiz. I don't know what it's called now, but it's not called TouchWiz anymore. But, guys, I feel like I gotta say this really quick. Before you say that I've never given Samsung a chance, or I don't know what Android's like, or I don't know what Samsung phones are like, you gotta go back and watch some of our old videos, guys. I've had the Galaxy S5, that lasted about half a year before it broke. I had a Galaxy S7 Edge, that lasted 8 months before it got a pink line in the screen, and then the Wi-Fi died, and then the cell radio stopped working, and then Bluetooth was spotty, so I traded it in. Then my replacement, which was brand new in box by the way, lasted a month before it started having the same freaking issues. So, no.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I know what happens with Android. They last a month, and then it's like, oh, why did I buy this instead of an iPhone? That's what happened in my experience, at least. If you had a better experience, okay, I'm still staying on iPhone.
That might be one of the reasons why I'm still gonna wait, because this year is the year I plan on upgrading. I was thinking about doing it last year. But I'm like, I got to get a new computer first, and then I'll go ahead and worry about the phone later. And now I'm probably pushing it back even towards the end of the year now because I think I need to get a new camera. But now that cameras have gotten so better on the smartphone, I'm thinking about just going ahead and go straight for a smartphone.
This guy's sitting here giving me that stereotypical PC fanboy crap about not wanting to get a Mac.
Well,
I told him to get a Mac, and he's like, "Oh, but I can get the same with the PC for cheaper." And I'm like,
"Exactly,
okay,
I can.
Yeah, you can, but then you're going to be running into the same issues, and you don't have that build quality of a MacBook."
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, at least the newer versions of Windows 10 actually kind of work, because ever since I've upgraded to the latest versions and did the factory reset and everything, I haven't ran into like any real major problems, except for every now and then it crashes, but I get the, like, let's say Explorer crashes or whatever. I actually get Explorer back. I don't have to completely reboot the OS, which I had to do literally back when we did the Windows 10 rant. I had to do that almost every single time.
If you guys want to see that happen, go ahead and hit that card.
Yeah.
that was like my favorite episode because it proved all of our points.
It was awful. But now it seems like they've decided to finally get back onto the bandwagon of actually, making an OS that's stable. But, I'm not saying Windows 10 is perfect by any means.
Yeah.
Like, 7 is still my favorite Windows OS, maybe my favorite OS period, but it's still not even close to what 7 was. Not even, and it's really sad to see that go away. My little little spiel of things. So this is going to be a Galaxy S9 / Windows 10 rant, I guess. Yeah. Because we're always going to be ranting about Windows 10 no matter what.
I mean, it's called the Rantcast, so if you guys haven't watched any of our old videos, go back and do that now before you finish this episode, because you know, none of this is going to make sense unless you see the old stuff, but if you guys noticed, he said the newer versions of Windows 10 kind of work. Mac OS just works. It just flat out works. In my experiences, at least. But I don't know, man. It's up to you. I don't care. I just don't want to hear you complain if it starts having the same issues. He's going to drop like $5,000 on a nice PC and it's going to blue screen on him the first day.
That would suck so bad.
That would be your luck. Just
see, I'd be more apt to buy a MacBook if I had just more customization too. It's like the RAM soldered on. It's just it pisses me off though. And then gee, I don't know. See, it's just kind of expensive, and that's my biggest issue with it. And I do know the MacBooks of not today's MacBooks are usually built pretty well, but the ones way back then usually had some really major issues. I think it was problems with the GPU, if I remember correctly. But at least they have really good. Apple's pretty good backing up their products, and by that I mean, you know, customer support and stuff like that. A lot of every single PC manufacturer I went to on their website or you know, you look at the reviews and everything. There's always a customer service horror story of something happening and the company not replacing their product or fixing it correctly. And I'm not saying Apple's like perfect, but they are light years ahead of some of the PC manufacturers out there in that regards. So I have to give them respect for that too. But
yeah, if you guys remember that Mac Mini I had, I think it was like the first month I had it, I had someone at the Apple Store put Windows 10 on it. Or no, sorry, it was Windows 8.1. And this guy stayed a freaking half hour past his shift to help me put Windows on a Mac. I guarantee you, if I went into a Microsoft store and asked them to put like, what would it be? Mac OS on a PC? They'd kick me out. They'd be like, no, you can't, you're not allowed to be in the store anymore. I'm going to keep your iPhone as well because it's better than the Windows phone, but you're still not allowed to be here no more. And I'd be like...
Well, even if you put Linux, I don't even think they would help you out with that.
Honestly, though, they'd be like, no, I don't even know how to get past the BIOS on the Surface Book. Yeah. And I'd be like, you probably do, you just don't want to.
They'll be like, what's a BIOS? What's that do? You know,
yeah, they would. What's a BIOS? I don't know what that is.
Is it like a 2OS BIOS? So
oh, dude, they would. That would be them.
Is that a new version of Windows? Windows BIOS? Man, I didn't get me one of that.
Oh man. All right, we got to get back on topic here.
Galaxy S9.
Galaxy S9. So, okay, you guys know the iPhone 10 has Face ID and it freaking sucks. I'm not even gonna lie anymore. I miss Touch ID. You see this really quick. You see this, guys. You see how freaking tall that standby button is? If it would focus, you can still see it anyway. You see that right there? Why couldn't they have put the scanner in there? Why not? No, they were just like, oh, we gotta have Face ID. Can't have Touch ID anywhere on the phone. But it's whatever. So Samsung went ahead and did something better than the S8, I guess at least. The S8 could be actually tricked with a photo of you to unlock the device. Which is weird because I thought it had the iris scanner from the Note 7, but I don't know, I guess not. But this one now... It kind of combined Face ID with the iris scanner. See, it says it right here. It combines facial recognition and iris scanning. I don't know if it has the same, like, 30,000 infrared dots like the iPhone has. But at least I don't think it could be tricked with a photo of you anymore. Which is probably a good thing. And if you look on the back... let me try to find a picture of the back here. There, that's a fingerprint scanner right there, in case you guys didn't know. They kept it. They were smart, at least. This phone also has a headphone jack, which I'm not too happy about, because I think it just needs to go away entirely at this point. I've used the adapter for my iPhone 10 maybe 3-4 times at most. That's it. You can't see it in this picture here, but it is to the left of that USB-C port. There you go. And they also copied the speaker design that the iPhone has. This is a speaker, but they also use the earpiece as a speaker, just like the iPhone 7 and 8 and 10 did. So, not too sure how to not too sure how to feel about that. Like, it is a good thing, but come on, Apple already did that. Like, Brandon, you remember when Apple was like the company that would be late to everything?
Yeah, I remember that.
And now,
that's when I first got into iPhones, was when they were late with everything.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
when
man.
I got it, I'm like, man, I should have gone into Samsung, and now I feel kind of the opposite way, sort of. Well, I haven't really have a really new phone yet, but still, you know.
That was kind of me when I got the S7, because I felt like the iPhone 7 was like kind of a trashy, like old style phone. Old style.
Yeah.
But then
I remember, yeah, I remember when the 7 came out. I just really wasn't all that impressed with it. I was like, yeah, I don't think
it was pretty much a 6S with no headphone jack and a solid state home button. Like, yes, I know that they upgraded the processor. I know they put a different amount of RAM and storage in it. Yeah, that's great. But it looked the same as the 6S. It was still a good phone, don't get me wrong. I still to this day wish that I had just bought that 7 Plus that the guy at Best Buy showed me instead of the S7. But it's whatever. I have an iPhone now, and I'm gonna just stay with it. But that's what happened. Samsung is pretty much taking what Apple did, and I don't know. I guess with the camera, they're kind of doing it better because of that dual aperture, and with the facial recognition. Even though I haven't really seen that many ways to fool Face ID on the iPhone 10, but I don't know.
Samsung's kind of like doing both, where they're kind of copying Apple, but they're also still doing their own thing too. So they're walking that fine line where they're kind of in the middle between the two, where they're still unique, but they're also kind of, oh, well, Apple's doing it, so we got to do it, you know.
I still like that edge display, the dual edge. Like, I thought it was really annoying on the Galaxy S7, but the way they did it on the S8 is better. Like, well, I guess, and the I haven't held an S9 yet, but I know on the S8 at least, it wasn't as easy to hit the edge with your palm. I don't even know where my S7 is right now, but I would always have issues without a case, and I was trying to type on it. My palm would tap the keys on the edges, and it would always annoy me. But I haven't had that issue when I've played with S8s yet. So I'm hoping the S9 kind of keeps that going. But until it's in Best Buy, I won't know, because I'm not gonna get one unless like someone gives one to me. So yeah. Which, hey, if any of you guys would to give one to me, hit me up. That would be sweet.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Well, I mean, that's really all there is that's new about the S8. I'm pretty sure the battery is the same size. It's 3,000 milliamp hours in the S9. 3,500 milliamp hours in the S9 Plus. Camera's different. I'm pretty sure they did the dual OIS in the dual camera system, which they actually had done in the Note 8 before the iPhone 10 came out. Which, if you guys didn't know, the iPhone 8 does not have optical stabilization on the zoom lens. Only the 10 does, and it does make a huge difference. But Samsung beat Apple to that with the Note 8, I think before the iPhone 8 and 10 were even announced. But regardless, it's whatever. The iPhone 10 camera is still better than the S8 and Note 8, in my opinion. But, you know, if you want to buy an S9, go for it. Let me know how it is after a couple months. And, yeah. I don't, there's not really much more to say about it. Like, the only thing in their AR section is AR emoji. Like, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, I see that too now.
If you look at Samsung... Oh, here. Check this out, guys. So, this is what I was saying about it looking like freaking iMessage. Does this not look like iMessage? Like, I'm being for real here. Why can I not zoom out? Okay, there you go. Does this not look like iMessage? Like, just a little bit. It just looks a little to me like iMessage does. It kind of looks like
a lot like iMessage.
It looks like a hybrid between Messenger and iMessage.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I don't know if that's their new, like, stock SMS app, but if it is, why does it look like iMessage? That's just my thought. That's what I think it looks like. But yeah, there's not really much more to talk about with the S9 than the camera and AR emoji.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
If you guys are interested in the tech specs, alright, fine. It's got a Snapdragon 845 processor. I'm pretty sure the S9 has 4 gigs of RAM and the S9 Plus has 6. They both have 64 gigs of storage with a micro SD card slot. And they both have the it's quad HD except ultra wide, or not ultra wide, but wider than the normal 16:9 ratio. I can't remember what they call it. I know Apple calls it Super Retina display, which I still hate that name, by the way. But
I know, I hate it too.
it's so stupid. Super, like,
It's
go away.
super.
All right. Give me some, I literally can't find any specs here. There's also a, there's an enterprise edition of this phone, which, I think what I heard was it allows, like, business owners to manage updates remotely, and, stuff like that. I don't know much more than that, and it also has LTE speeds up to 1.2 gigabits a second, which, if any of you guys can find anywhere that has LTE speeds like that, let me know where it's at, and I'll move there, because the speeds I get on LTE here are awful. I don't think I've... Oh, okay, fine. At this one place by school, I can get 100, but I've never seen it above that anywhere. And there's also a new Samsung Dex dock, which is actually kind of cool. Like, if you guys look right here, this is it. It's flat now, so you can use the phone screen as a touchpad instead of it being on a stand, kind of like my wireless charger is. Mm-hmm. But other than that, not really much else new. Which I know the same thing could be said about the iPhone 8, but like, the flip cover is pretty much the same. The LED wallet cover kind of looks like something HTC did back in the day. This reminds me of the leather cases for the iPhone 10 and 7 and all that. It's not leather, it just kind of looks like it is. But, yeah. I don't think I have much more to say on this. There's the
neither
Dex
do
pad.
I. I'm looking through the same thing.
Like... Let me get something straight here, guys. It's a lot cheaper than the iPhone 10, like, by a lot. The S here. Let me just show you in case you guys don't believe me. I'll even go ahead and refresh the page so you know I didn't inspect element this. So if you look right here, what is that? $719.99 for the S9, $839.99 for the S9 Plus. I spent over $1,200 on my iPhone 10. And, yeah. Here, let's just go... Oh, and here's another thing, though, guys. See, on Verizon, this is $930. AT&T, it's $915. But unlocked, it's $839. And they don't have a silver color, which isn't cool, because I like silver.
Yeah, same here. They have some weird purple color, I think, too. And that's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, lilac purple. I don't really like that much, but
I don't know. I don't like it. Yeah, I mean, it's even like the rose gold on the iPhone. I hate those colors. Like, just stay
I'm
with
glad
neutral colors,
I'm glad they
and
got
okay
away.
with it.
I'm glad they got away from rose gold.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're not even gonna let me, like, look at the thing. Oh, here, skip add-ons. Okay, I don't actually want to pre-order this. Jeez, could you imagine if I accidentally actually, like, pre-ordered the S9 and it, like, showed up at my house? I'd be like,
like
no!
No, get out of here.
Honestly, I'd probably, like, oh no, I was gonna say I'd keep it, but then that's like $900 I could have upgraded my iPhone with. Oh, man.
I know what you mean, yeah. I mean, I still like this phone, really. It's still a pretty cool phone.
What, the iPhone or the S9?
The S9. Well, the iPhone X, too, but, you know.
The S9, it looks like a good phone, but knowing what Samsung does after a couple months, just...
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of why I'm also waiting. Like, well, number one, I got to, of course, buy other stuff. But number two, you know, I just want to see what else is going to come out. I want to see what Apple does this year. And, of course, that's a really long ways from now, but still.
We're definitely going to be covering the summer event and the September event again, guys. Actually, the very first episode we did was on the WWDC event back in...
Yeah.
That was July. Yeah, July 5th.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's much more to go over in this episode. This is actually kind of a short episode. We're under a half hour. So, yeah, guys, I guess that is... Yeah. I think this actually might be the shortest episode we've ever done.
It might be, yeah. I think... When was the last episode that we did besides the New Year's one?
Besides New Year's?
We never talked about
besides the one that never happened.
Yeah.
Before New Year's, it was... Was it an episode... No, it was an episode called Apple Still Has Its Issues on December 29th.
Oh, yes, I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that now. Wow. Well, now we're... First episode of the year, then. That's actually a pretty decent one.
First real episode of the year. I don't know if I'm ever going to release the New Year's episode we did. I'm pretty sure the live stream's like privated on my channel. But yeah, if you guys... oh, one more thing. All of my videos except the Rantcast are going to be now in 4K 24 frames per second. I'm done messing around with 60 frames a second. I'm trying to do stuff a little bit more cinematic style. If you want to check out a preview of what that's going to turn into in the future, look at the video uploaded before this, because that video took a decent amount of time to put together. I did a nice little like pan intro and with a bunch of like tilts and different camera angles. And I thought it came out pretty good. I actually recorded the whole thing with my iPhone 10. So yeah, if you guys are...
That's pretty nice.
It is.
Pretty nice. I mean, back then, if you said that you could record a good video with your smartphone, I mean, you'd just get laughed at. But now cameras have gotten so good now that, I mean, I wouldn't blame you. I mean, that's pretty impressive, though. I've watched it, or at least parts of it.
Like, I've had people tell me that they wouldn't know I shot a video with my iPhone if I hadn't have told them. That's how good these cameras are getting. That's
crazy.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this episode of the Rantcast. If you enjoyed, the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe to Brandon, check out his videos. And hopefully next weekend there will be more videos. I'm trying to get back on this because it's been like a couple months since I uploaded last before these two videos. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, I know I already said this, but all the usual stuff. Brandon's links are in the description for his Twitter and his YouTube. And yeah, until the next video, guys, that is going to be it. So thank you for watching.